بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين وأصحاب الغر الميامين الحمد لله الذي جعلنا من المتمسكين بولاية سيدي ومولاي علي بن أبي طالب اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد وعجل فرجهم الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله أما بعد السلام عليكم and welcome to Future Stars Live on Hidayat TV. I'm your host Hassan Shah and today we are talking about knowledge in general. Why should we gain knowledge and what is knowledge in Islam? We're going to be talking about these concepts, but also like I mentioned we're going to have this book review as well, talking about these books that some of these books that these three have picked out, and also a book that I have picked out myself as well. So we're going to be talking about these books as well also, so it ties in with today's topic of gaining knowledge, gaining things to learn about, new stuff. So before I continue, I'd like to introduce my guest.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Misbah.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Mohsin.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Hussain.
And thank you for the introduction. So knowledge, why do you think it's important in Islam, Mohsin?
Because if you didn't have knowledge, then for example, like if you wanted to be a teacher, then you couldn't do it.
Yes, so if you wanted to be something, that you can't be that something without the knowledge. What about do you know any sayings in Islam about knowledge? Any of you? Do you any sayings from any important people who say?
And that the Holy Prophet is the city of knowledge and Imam Ali is the guy.
Yeah, that's something about knowledge. Anything else? What about gaining knowledge? Do you know any sayings about that? What about if I told you, think about the Prophet, think about China?
China?
Yeah. Do you know that hadith? No. There's a saying from the Holy Prophet where he says, gain knowledge, even if that you have to go to all the way to
China.
Yeah.
To gain.
Yeah. So what's he talking about there?
Like even if you have to go somewhere like far, you still have to do like.
Yeah. So it shows the importance of knowledge and its significance in Islam, that the Holy Prophet has said that you should, yeah, and you even have to go to the lengths of pushing yourself, yeah, that you have to that you would go anywhere to gain knowledge. Yeah, so that's why a lot of people move to different places, because they say, oh, this is gives a better education, and the Prophet has told me to go far and look for something we could use to better educate ourselves. Yeah. So what's another? Do any of you know any other sayings? There's one other saying that makes it wajib upon us.
Know your religion.
Huh? Know you.
Know your religion.
Obviously, you have to know your religion, but gaining knowledge in Islam, the Prophet has said, it is that every woman and man has to what? Has to gain knowledge. They have to. Yeah, so we need to remember this. That is a really important thing, that we have to go out and seek knowledge. So Misbah, you got our first thing. So can we start Misbah for the loud salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
One of the distinctive features of Islam is its emphasis on knowledge. The Quran and the Islamic tradition, Sunnah, invite Muslims to seek and acquire knowledge and wisdom, and to hold men of knowledge in high esteem. In the Holy Quran, the word al-ilm, knowledge, and its derivatives are used more than 780 times. The first few verses that were revealed to our Holy Prophet ﷺ mention the importance of reading and teaching for human beings. Read in the name of your Lord who created. He created man from something which clings. Read, and your Lord is the most generous, who taught with pen, taught man what he knew not. In the Islamic traditions too, there are many words of praise for knowledge and the learned. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So that's talking about what we just talked about now, isn't it? That Islam puts an emphasis on knowledge. When you look in the Quran, when you look in the traditions of the Holy Prophet, yeah, and of the Ahlul Bayt, what do you find? That people are, that the Imams and the Prophets are calling you to take up soaking knowledge, because it is important for you. Mohsin, you've got the next one, so we'll start Mohsin after the loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
It is an obligation for every Muslim to seek knowledge. Seek knowledge even if it be in China. Seek knowledge from cradle to grave. Scholars are heirs of the prophets. The ink of the learned will be weighed with the blood of martyrs on the resurrection day, and then the ink of the learned will be preferred to the blood of the martyrs. Anyone who pursues a course of such knowledge, God will ease his way to paradise. The most learned of men is the one who gathers knowledge from others of his own. The most worthy of the men is the most knowing, and meanest is the most arrogant. Acquire knowledge, it enables its possessor to distinguish right from wrong. It lights the way to heaven. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. So thank you, Mohsin. So Mohsin mentioned some of the narrations that we were talking about seeking knowledge, even if you have to go all the way to China. Yeah. What other narrations did you say, Mohsin?
It is an obligation for all Muslims to seek knowledge.
Yeah, it's an obligation for all Muslims, no matter what kind of Muslim you are. Yeah, you have to seek knowledge. It's really important. What kind of problems do you think are around nowadays and about seeking knowledge?
When you're in a poor country, then it's hard to gain knowledge from over there.
So if you're in a poor country, yeah, what else? You're saying, do you know any problems that are around nowadays that is about that stops people gaining knowledge?
Some people think that it's not cool or ever to be clever, so they don't want to learn.
So especially in this country, what's the problem about gaining knowledge?
People don't like to gain knowledge because it makes them because they might think that other people might think that they're not cool or anything like that.
Yeah, that's one reason. Because what we see is not only that, because of that, is that in this country it's because things are given in I don't want to make it in a sense that it's really good that people are given this free stuff. People are given free education, this and that, but it's also that we need to understand that it's important as well. It's not free that you can just turn your nose up at it, yeah, because people in other countries, yeah, it's hard for them to go to school. They really want to go to school, but it's hard for them. Mohsin, what are you going to say?
I was going to say that some other people might not want might not want to like learn, because if they try to understand, they might get confused and then people might laugh at them.
Yeah, so that's one thing. So we need to make it in a way that it doesn't scare people to learn. Yeah, so that's really important as well. So Hussein, you've got the next thing, so you can start saying after the loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
So why is saying of Imam Ali alayhi salam, "O you who carry knowledge around with you, are you only carrying it around with you? For surely knowledge belongs to whoever knows and then acts accordingly, so that his action corresponds to his knowledge. There will be a people who will carry knowledge around with them, but it will not pass beyond their shoulders. Their innermost thoughts will contradict what they display in public, and their actions will contradict what they know. Do not turn your knowledge into ignorance and your surety into doubt. When you acquire knowledge, then act in accordance with it, and when you achieve surety, then proceed with it. Knowledge is accompanied by action. Thus he who knows acts in accordance with it. Knowledge is called through action. Thus if called it responds, and if left uncalled it leaves. The lowest form of knowledge is the one which only appears upon the tongue, while the loftiest is the one made manifest by the organs and the limbs. Verbal knowledge is of the least value, while practical knowledge is of the highest. The more noble the man, the more valuable the man. The most complete gift of God is a life based on knowledge. Knowledge gives life to the soul. Knowledge creates fear of God. Practice makes knowledge perfect. The one who engages in business without knowledge of its law is inevitably dragged into unsure. Two types of people will never be saturated: the seeker of knowledge and the seeker of this world. The best companion is satisfied, while knowing is a noble heritage. Good morals are renewable garments, and so is a clear mind. There is no virtue in your possession of excess wealth and offspring, while the virtue and merit are awarded by greater knowledge and insistence, and by your devotion to your Lord. When a dead person is placed in his grave, four kinds of fire will cover him, but then the prayer will come and put one of them out, and the fast will come and put another one out, and then charity will come and put another one out, and knowledge will come and put the fourth one out. And it will say, if I had come sooner, it would have put all of them out and give you delight, for I am with you now, and you'll not see anything else distressing. When Allah wishes to humiliate a person, he prevents him from gaining knowledge. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farjum. So thank you, saying. So shows about knowledge is not only for this life but in the afterlife as well, and how it would help you there. Yeah, especially gaining religious knowledge and non-religious knowledge. So anyway, I'll class it all over as religion, because even things that you do normally on a day-to-day basis, yeah, it could come into religion. Yeah. So there's many types of knowledge that we go out and we seek, and Imam Ali was talking about how we should use it practically. What kind of knowledge in this world that we have, but there's like not a big practice to? Can you think of any? So what's going on Earth? Yeah, that is a really bad problem for Earth. Pollution, yeah, that's one thing. And there was a story for the news. Who's the American president? Donald Trump, yeah. And he pulled out of like a global kind of campaign thing to help stop global warming and stop this kind of effect happening on the Earth. Yeah, and because it's gonna have bad effects. So we know this knowledge, but he has not practiced on this knowledge. Yeah. And now it might have bad effects. Could have bad effects on the people, on their lifestyle, creating more hazards. So that's one example of a knowledge that is not being practiced upon. So we need to practice upon our knowledge. So any religious knowledge that we gain, we learn that we learn from mosque, we learn from madrasa that one thing is haram, that we shouldn't be doing, and oh yeah, I'm doing that thing. And now you got to put action onto that and stop. Now you say to yourself that I'm not going to do that thing anymore, and I'm going to stop. So you got to put practice onto this as well. Not only going to be a verbal thing for you. Okay, so Miss, but you've got the next thing. So we start, Miss Prophet Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
Knowledge is better than wealth because of the following 7 reasons. Number 1, knowledge is inheritance of prophets, while wealth is inheritance of pharaohs. Number 2, knowledge does not diminish, rather increases with spending, while wealth diminishes with spending. Number 3, wealth requires to be protected, while knowledge protects its owner. Number 4, knowledge will enter the coffin shrewd, while wealth will be prevented from doing so. Number 5, wealth reaches both believers and unbelievers, kafir, while knowledge is reserved only for those who are worthy of it. Number 6, knowledge will facilitate passing over the Sirat, bridge over hell, while wealth will pour hurdles. Number 7, people are always in need of scholars, while they might not be in need of those possessing wealth. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farajah. So thank you, Miss. So she's explaining the importance of knowledge over wealth. And if you have this knowledge, what can you do to benefit yourself? You could be able to gain wealth from this knowledge, can't you? So from a new medicine you make, if you make a new medicine, should you actually put money onto it? So make it expensive, so when people are buying, trying to save lives, yeah, you shouldn't do that. Yeah, so that's one thing. But you could obviously make wealth from knowledge, can't you? Yeah. So it's one way. So when we gain knowledge, yeah, we put it in a practical sense, we can gain all our needs from it, and also by praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well, and gaining religious knowledge to help us. And that will help us in our day-to-day life as well. So Mohsin, have you got the next thing? So we'll start Mohsin off salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
Acquisition of knowledge is incumbent on every Muslim. According to the tradition, intends to state that whatever state of knowledge one may be, he should strive to make further advance. The Prophet means that the acquisition of knowledge is obligatory for all Muslim scholars as well as ignorant men, beginners as well as learned scholars. Whatever stage of knowledge we may attain, he is still like a child entering into adulthood. He should learn things which we not obligatory for him earlier. To the tradition implies for that a Muslim can never be relieved of his responsibility of acquiring knowledge. 3. No field of knowledge or science is undesirable or detestable in itself, for knowledge is like light, so it is desirable. The reason that some of the science have been regarded as undesirable is because the undesirable effects they produce. The knowledge which is insubordinate of every Muslim to acquire is one that elevates man's position in the next world and brings him the knowledge on one of himself, his creator, prophets, messengers of God, elite of Islam, signs of God, doomsday, and whatever causes proximately of God is divergence from the Almighty way. The levels of accusation of this knowledge differ from a person to person in accordance with their talents, and even in case of a particular person, the level of attainment changes with evolution. Therefore, it is no limit to the accusation of the type of knowledge, and no matter what level one reaches, it is still insubordinate on him to attain a higher level. This, of course, depends on his capacity and patience.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil fajr. So Mohsin is talking about after even you can't be stuck on one stage of knowledge. You need to still be going up every stage, learning more. Yeah, you can't be in one position, because the Prophet said you have to learn, still learning from your cradle to your grave. You have to continue learning knowledge. What example can we see of this in today's world?
For example, scholars like.
Yes, scholars.
So
yeah. So alims.
So basically, when they learn, so then they learn more at each step. Even though they preach, they still have to learn, keep learning.
Yeah.
Keep learning.
So scholars and alims, what do they do? Especially like ayatullah that people do taqleed to. Yeah. They have to keep gaining knowledge, because as soon as time moves on, different things come about. Yeah. New inventions, things like that, or different ideas. They come about, and they need to have an answer for these things. Yeah. So every day they're learning. Yeah, they're doing something so they can have an answer in Islam. They go through so many innovations of hadith for the prophets and the imams. They go through historical documents. Yeah, they go through the Quran continuously. Yeah, because to get an answer for one question, he doesn't go to one ayah or one hadith. He goes to multiple. They go to multiple hadiths, ayahs. So that's an example of keep gaining knowledge. Of course, we can't be on a level of a alim, because we're not at that stage yet. Yeah, and I don't think anyone will even get close to that stage. But what we do, we try to learn something. Yeah, by reading books like we're gonna go on to next. So Hussein, I think you've got the last thing, so can we start saying after the last salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
Is there are two types of knowledge, religious and non-religious. In most of the Quranic verses and the Islamic traditions, the concept of knowledge appears in its absolute sense, as can be seen from examples given below. Say, are those who know and those who do not know alike. God taught man what he knew not. It has been a subject of fundamental importance from the early days of Islam as to which kind of knowledge Islam recommends. Is there any specific kind of knowledge to be sought? Some well-known Muslim scholars have counted as praiseworthy only those branches of knowledge which are directly connected with religion. As for other types of knowledge, they hold the view that it is up to the community to decide which of them are essential for the substance and welfare of the community. We believe that there can be no restriction on the acquisition of knowledge, and if there were any limitation of this kind, our Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, would have mentioned them. We do not approve the classification of sciences into religious and non-religious, as the Martyri Professor Murtada has rightly pointed out. Such classifications may entail the misconception that the non-religious sciences are alien to Islam, and this seems incompatible with the University of Islam, the religion which claims to bestow full felicity upon mankind, a religion that consists of self-suffering, cannot estrange itself from the issues which play a vital role in securing welfare and independence for the Islamic society. According to the late Mutahari, Islam's comprehensiveness and finality as a religion demands that every field of knowledge that is beneficial for an Islam society be regarded as a part and parcel of the religious sciences. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajjal fajr. So Hussein, they're talking about the differences between religious and non-religious, and how this actually, we shouldn't actually have this kind of big thing, because it kind of alienates Islam with another a subject, some sciences or something like that, kind of makes a barrier between them. But we should know that there is no barrier, and we should be gaining this knowledge as well. It's really important. So what is one way to gain knowledge?
By reading books.
By reading books. And you have read these books that you picked out, yeah? I'm going to be talking about one book as well. So who wants to start? Mohsin, you want to start? Okay, can we start, Mohsin, off with the loud salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajjal farajahum.
So this book, it's basically about, it talks about, for example, a drop.
So what's the title of it first?
A mercy of a drop of mercy.
See if you can actually turn it around. I don't know if you're gonna get a picture of that. So what's the title, Mohsin, again?
A drop of mercy.
And who's it written by?
It's written by Shabatan Abu Bakr and Nordin Endat.
Nordin Endat and Shabatan. Okay, so what's it about?
It's about the first thing is it's about when a droplet of Allah. So basically, it goes into when it's going into the river. When it's going into the river, it evaporates into proper water. So then when it goes into the water, it carries on, it keeps going, and then.
So it talks about the water cycle, yeah. And I can see at the top it says Islam and science for kids. So it's combining the two with religious and also that is a non-religious knowledge as well, which is also important as well, that we should gain as well. Both probably and Islamic knowledge be even more important as well. Yeah. So can you explain the water cycle? So what happens is a drop comes down
and then it evaporates into water vapor.
Yeah.
So then when it goes into the river.
So what, it evaporates into the river?
No, when it goes into the river, because when it evaporates.
Alright, so before it evaporates, so you got to remember. So when it goes into the river, what happens?
When it goes into the river, it evaporates into water vapor.
And
from there, It carries on to streams,
So no, so
rivers.
so before it evaporates, you got this so it condensates into the river first. I think you've got a condensation and evaporation the other way around. So it condensates into the river first, yeah, and then Hussein's showing it there. Yeah, so that's the whole cycle. There, so he's showing it to Mohsen. Mohsen, you read this book, you should know it more than Hussein. So first of all, it condensates into the river, then it goes into streams, yeah, goes down. So Hussein's showing it there. When it goes down, it's into streams, and then it goes into the river, yeah, and then up again. So it evaporates into water vapor, into the clouds, and then it goes again. So it's a whole cycle, isn't it, Mohsin? Yeah. So so this book combines Islam and science, doesn't it, Mohsin?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how does it help you?
It basically helps you because it's showing that all these things are by Allah. So like Allah controls all these things, what they do. Like for example, the sun when it's going, and then the sun evaporates the water into water vapor.
Yeah. So it's a whole control system controlled by Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. Yeah. So it teaches you really important things about religion. Yeah, and also things that you need to learn for school as well. So that's the really important thing about this book. So who wants to go next, Misbah? You're gonna go next. So what's your book about?
It's prayer, so it's called I Want to Pray.
I Want to Pray. And who's it written by? Wait, if you check the back. So this book was actually, it was from the original book was from Sepida Khalili, and it was actually translated. So this book wasn't made in English. Yeah, it was translated and adapted by Rashida Hanif. Yeah, and it's called
I Want to Pray.
I Want to Pray. And what does it talk about?
It talks about it's into sections about how you pray. So like the Qibla, how you have to face Qibla. You can't just face anywhere. You face to where the Kaaba is. And about like clothes and how not to get in najis.
Yeah. So it's divided into sections about how to pray. So
and at the bottom, the words that they use here, it explains it there.
Yeah. So as you can see, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that, but it's divided into sections. So the Azan, the Wuzu, and it talks about these important stuff that we all need to know. So clean clothes, Qibla, place to pray, all these things that we need to know. It talks about the turba as well. What's the turba? The sajdaga, yeah. It talks about that as well, and it talks about all these important things, yeah, that we need to know for salah, yeah. And at the bottom, like Misbah said, yeah, I don't know, you're definitely not going to be able to see that, but it's a bit small. But at the bottom, it talks about these words, the words that were mentioned in the story. So the story's up here, and the important words are highlighted and they're mentioned in the bottom, and it gives you the explanation of them as well. So how does this book out?
It helps by explaining like in a simpler way to the young kids how they could pray.
Yeah, so it's giving you the basic and simple explanation of how to do salah. So it helps people get ready for before they're baligh and start practicing praying now. Yeah, so Hussein?
So this book is Understanding Qibla, and it's written by Siddiqa Jumma, and what's it called? So it's a very detailed book, and it just tells you like stories that's happened in Qibla, but it's like it says in a very detailed way. But the good thing about this book is that it's got like loads of images, as you can see, so it's like very
Visual.
like, picture and like visual, yeah. And so it's not like young kids can read it because it doesn't have like hard to understand words, like it's got simple words, and with the pictures, like it's like kids can read this, but it's also aimed at like adults and like teenagers, because of the fact that it's like the stories it has and how detailed it is. It's just like good stories, and yeah.
Yeah, so the pictures are really important in this one as well, because they're really nice. Is it written by and illustrated by the same person? If you
so.
check the back.
It just, yeah, it looks like it, because it doesn't got
Yeah,
name.
so who was it written by and illustrated by?
Sadiqa Jumma.
Yeah, so she did a really good job on this book, because it explains, I've read some of it as well, and it explains really properly, and it gives nice illustrations as well for it. So thank you for that, Hussein. And then the next book, this is a book I'm going to do, yeah, and it's called Towards Eternal Life, and this was written by, so it wasn't written in English, it's written by Muhammad Saeed Bahmanpour. Yeah, so that's the author of it, and it was translated into English by Abbas Jafar. Yeah, and this, from the title, what would you think it talks about?
How to gain how to properly gain knowledge to about your religion, when
You know
die.
about after, when you die. So Hussein, what?
So I obviously I know because I've read the book along with you, but what's it called? It's about like life after death, and like it just like tells what you go through and like what happens when you die.
Yeah, so this book, I would say is gained towards older people, because of the kind of language it used in it. Because if you'd give it to someone around these lot age, you would be able to get the gist of it, but because of the language it uses, it's got at some points it will be a bit confusing. Yeah, also because you got to think it's been translated as well. Yeah, so a little bit maybe confusion might be kind of held in understanding the book. So when you read it, it's really important, really good, because it has at the bottom it for whatever kind of hadiths or examples it gives, so evidence. Yeah, it has at the bottom, yeah, the source for it. Yeah, so it says the surah number, the ayah, the book it comes from, Bihar al-Anwar. These books it talks about, and it takes examples from it, and it explains what actually is kind of talking about. So your life after death, and it gives you a real knowledge of what you are gonna see. And also not only examples from Islamic sources, but also some I think a Swedish a doctor or some person that experienced something. So not only Islamic sources, but also included some other sources as well to I think kind of make a comparison to as well. So this book is really good in understanding what what is going to happen after, and it gives you a knowledge and just to know what I would need to know for when I'm over there. Yeah, so a lot of mystical stuff as well is in this book, because it explains about how your soul and how it's going to be different, really different in the other world, and how we're gaining some powers over there or something like that. Explains that in detail as well. Yeah, so hope these books, yeah, hope our reviews of these books have inspired you lot at home to go take up books, take up knowledge. And the most important thing that we're going to learn from today's episode is that the Holy Prophet and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have told us that knowledge is really important for ourselves, and we have to it's wajib, it's obligatory for us to gain knowledge, yeah, and gain it for the right reasons as well, and be practical in our knowledge that we gain as well. So hope you enjoyed today's show. Hope you enjoyed our book review. So we'll see you next week, same time, same place on Hidayat TV. But until then, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.